Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my MäksēLife monthly goals for January, and as well as just my financial goals going into my budget for January as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it. If you happen to miss my planner lineup, this was part of it. This is a plum paper planner. I chose the financial version. And basically, I went ahead and described to you guys what I was planning to do on these pages, but I am going to be transferring what I'm sharing today over to these pages in my setting up my budget for January video. So just letting you guys know where this will be transferred to will be in this plum paper planner. But with that being said, let me go ahead and move over some other things that I got going on and kind of just describe some more goals and how I'm organizing myself financially for my budget for January. Okay, so first things first, let's just go ahead. I guess let's move this out of the way. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and look at my January goals. So if you're new to the MäksēLife, they have a setup to where you basically, if you're interested in this, I do have another video that goes way more in depth, but you basically do an assessment on the different areas in your life, and then you see where you're at, where you want to be, you score yourself, and then you choose your word of the year. If you happen to miss that video, my word of the year is aligned, and I just wanted to be aligned in all areas of my life and pulling myself or allowing myself to be pulled in the direction that I need to be. And I put here, constantly pulled towards God like an arrow, staying aligned to that path. And I put the things that are required for this word of the year to kind of come to life, and that is requires prayer, discernment, and removing what's not beneficial. But anyways, so it also goes ahead and gives you a list of how to break down those categories, and this is kind of that category breakdown for you when you're setting your goals. So I already set my goals. Again, I have this in another video, but this is how I'm going to break down now my monthly goals, because you have your annual goals, and now we're just moving them into bite-sized pieces monthly, so we at the end of the year, or when that time comes, we can actually meet those goals. So for the first monthly goal in the area of personal, I put to organize my day. That's my main focus. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to plan in my daily duo. I did get the Erin Condren daily duo. I meant to get the A5, accidentally got the 911, or not 911, the 7 by 9. And so just organizing myself, plan in my daily duo, have my routines printed out or somewhere visual, because I am an out of sight, out of mind type of person. So if I don't have things in reach or in front of me daily, that is also the reason why my dining table usually is packed with books and my planners and things like that. It's because if I'm not passing by those things on a consistent basis, then it's really difficult for me to honestly be organized. I'll be all over the place. And then to time block my AM and PM routines. So I just went ahead and went back and I said, okay, what are my annual goals? My annual goals was to be aligned, right? Because that's my word of the year. And I put to be honest with myself, shift my situations to align with my values, follow my dreams without comparison, weekly check-ins with my AM and PM routines, because routines promote positive mental health for me. So I know that was my annual goal, to keep up with my PM and AM routines. So that's why I put this monthly goals as is make sure I'm planning using my planners, make sure things are in sight for me, because that's how my brain works. And then time blocking my AM and PM routines. So I'm actually doing my routines that I said I needed to do. Okay, next is for fun and recreation. So I guess before I let you know what I have set, we'll go back to my annual goals here. And my annual goals for fun and recreation is to get outdoors. So I want to schedule one activity a month to do that's new. I want to plan a trip once a quarter. These are the 3 places I for sure want to go, with the 4th one being kind of up in the air. So knowing that, that's my annual goals. Here in my focus for this month in January, I put to brainstorm and research events and around the area to do one thing this month. So that's my focus. Find one new thing to do this month. We do live in Denver. We live in basically the metro area. So or suburb of the metro area. So there's a lot of things to do here. There's museums, there's the mountains. But the thing is to get outside, get out of my house and do something new. So I also put here maybe, I was just brainstorming as I was writing this, maybe go to the mountains and maybe try a new brewery or maybe something local. Especially now the time of year, it's just, a little bit of snow and in the cold weather, just to enjoy being outside and getting some fresh air. And also this month, I like to pick a vacation for this quarter. That way we can start saving for that trip. And then for our next goal for January, which is in the area of work and learning, I have in here to use my talents to make a difference. That's my big goal for this year. I wanted to save $2,000 for required courses for nursing, but that is, like a goal I'm thinking about just because I want to challenge myself. But it doesn't necessarily have to be nursing, because I just want to this is my main focus, use my talents to make a difference. So if I save up $2,000, if I see that maybe another course aligns more with, what I'm called to do, I definitely need to, would take that opportunity. So it's just having that money to be able to promote learning in my life and to always be constantly learning something new and expand my, expand my skills and read 1 to 2 educational books a month. Now, I didn't write this in here, but we'll talk about this here shortly. So my focus for January is to start exploring classes I'd like to take. Also being grateful for my job and take classes to explore your talents, as I mentioned. So maybe try something fun. I decided, maybe you're so focused on one thing, maybe try to broaden what you're thinking about for taking as a class. So I didn't put down what book I'd like to read in here because I have decided to minimize my spending this year, like a lot. And I actually canceled my Amazon subscription and that was where I was getting my books from. So that goal might shift, and that's okay. If your goals shift throughout the year, don't think that you're like a failure. It can shift to what your needs are. We don't need to be super harsh on ourselves. I don't promote being harsh on ourselves. It's just not very good. So that's my goal. So my goal is to be grateful for where I'm at the moment in my work, but honestly start exploring and seeing what classes I like to take in the meantime while I'm saving up money to be able to take those classes. I'm thinking about perhaps taking a culinary class just for fun, or I'm willing to take like a theology class. I don't know. That's the whole point, is this month is really to start exploring for those things. Now for family and relations, if I go back up here, my goal for this year was to be present and vulnerable, and a big thing was having Friday appreciation days, so telling friends and persons with a hug that I appreciate them. And a big one was, all these are big, is being honest and transparent about my boundaries, but another big one was to call my mom once a week, because we have been going through a big transition, because my grandma now lives with my mom, and that's like a big transition, having somebody come live with you. And we haven't been in communication as much as we used to be. I used to call my mom every single day. So now this month's focus is 1 phone call to my mom a week. And then my Friday appreciations will begin in January. I've always really done like appreciation days, but I didn't make it a focus to make sure that I'm doing those on a consistent basis. So I'd like to do that on Fridays. So in January, my focus is to start my appreciation days and make that more dialed in. And yeah. So now for my health and wellness, I have in my goals for health and wellness first off, to love and respect my body and life. That's, big one. But to participate in 3 CrossFit competitions. I will be participating in one February 4th. So that's already in line. Participate in 2 Spartan races, drink at least 32 ounces of water daily, work out 6 days a week, Sunday activity with the dogs. So in January, I kind of just minimized that a little bit and said, okay, my focus for this month is to do CrossFit 6 times a week and then to drink my water daily. So that's going to be my focus in that area of my life for January. Then for personal and spiritual growth, my big one was my daily prayer routine. So I have a lot of things I want to do. I don't know. My dog's trying to jump on our bed. I'm not sure if you can hear her back there. Oh my gosh, she's so silly. Okay, she's ridiculous. Okay, she just makes me laugh. So I did want to incorporate like more fasting this year, but it's just the beginning of the year, so trying to start off slowly. So in January, my goal is to focus on my morning prayer. So 1 rosary a day and read at least 1 chapter of my Bible a day as well, so daily. So starting on my prayer routine, simple and sweet, and not getting lost in the sauce, as I like to say, because you can get lost in the sauce. And if you're new to my channel, you've never heard that term before, it's by Gucci Man. And I love using that term because it's so true, especially in the budgeting world for myself. It's called getting lost in the sauce, and what it means is when you're trying to basically keep up with the Joneses or keep up with what everyone else is doing. For example, me in the past, I have tried to, keep up with all the savings challenges everyone is doing, keep up with all the envelopes everyone's trying, keep up with, all the budget binders everyone's doing. And you end up losing focus on what you were trying to do that year or your own goals. And before you know it, you're like, where am I? And then you realize that you got lost in the sauce. You got lost in the sauce of the things that, ultimately were throwing you off focus. So keeping it simple, not getting lost in the sauce. Next, for my financial focus this month, specifically for January, no Amazon purchases. I have already canceled my Amazon subscription, so we're good there. No temptations. I put to eat all my groceries, and this means first off, being grateful for, my groceries and that I have groceries and I'm able to buy protein and things like that, because protein's really expensive. And, a lot of times we have to eat, pastas and carbs and things like that because, protein is expensive. So being grateful that I'm able to eat protein and eat all my groceries, that's important. Being grateful that I'm able to eat fresh produce and afford fresh produce. Next is to keep my Etsy purchases under $45. This is triggering for me, but I'm trying to, I'll have a $40 spending throughout January a week. So this means I don't want to allow myself to spend all my money on Etsy. I just want to spend under $45. I was going to put 40 and then I bumped it up to 45. And I also put 1 coffee a week, and that should come out of my spending. And I didn't put here, but I have put in my other section we will be moving to shortly, another main focus in my financial area. But anyways, and in my physical environment, basically what this means for me is to have a clutter-free home. So maintaining my AM and PM routines, that's my big focus for the entire year for my physical environment, because if my house is a mess, that my mind's a mess and I'm emotionally a mess. So it promotes, good mental health for me. So I put here, January's focus is to keep up with my routines, and here they are. Starting simple, laundry and 1 load of laundry a day and putting it away. Putting away my shoes. I'm infamous for leaving my shoes all over the place. And then washing dishes and putting them away. So those are my main focus in this area for January. Okay, next are my financial goals for January. So these are my priorities. No spend days. I'm trying to have as many no spends as I can. That does not involve like bills, obviously. Sometimes people put those in those categories. I have in the past, but no spends or just no spending, no swiping my debit card, and using cash only. Also having a daily check-in. So this would be what would be put into my plum paper planner. In that section I was showing you guys in the beginning of the video. So using cash only, and I have already taken steps to do that. So here I have put down all my automatic bills, or actually, let me step back. Sorry, friends. I'm like doing way too much. Okay. So here on this page, I put down 2 separate accounts I have with my bank. I put what I would like for it to be automatic and what I would like for my mortgage to come out of. So this has worked really well for me for my mortgage, and this is the reason how we got ahead 2 months, is because I set a separate checking account where only my mortgage was coming out of, and I was using it as a sinking fund and putting money into that account as soon as I could, putting money in that account. So I have a checking account just for my mortgage to come out, and I wanted to do that the same for my automatic bills and household bills, things like that, because this was combined with my debit card, and we were swiping our card and doing just miscellaneous spending and not taking account for the automatic bills, because sometimes they say that they come out on a day and they might come out like a day after or so on, and it's honestly confusing and weird. Just like ADT, they didn't pull out of our account this month, and they sent me a letter in the mail and said, hey, your next bill is due in January. I said, you guys haven't even charged my account this month. So it's just super weird. So I want to be more consistent, and my goal is to be 2 months ahead on all my other bills that does not include my mortgage. I'm already 2 months ahead with my mortgage. I want to be 2 months ahead in my automatic bills. So right now, monthly, I need to have in this account this amount for my subscriptions, my household bills, and my debt. But after January, I will only need this amount, this $867, because friends, I did have in here to share with you guys. After December, we will only owe $920 with 50 cents on our truck loan. So we're so close in paying this off. If we did not have that emergency earlier this year, we would have already had that paid off, but let's not look in the past. We're only thinking about the future. And we are so close, friends. So after that, this is the amount that I'm going to have in this account. And then I'll need $1734 to be saved into this checking. Friends, sorry about that. My memory was full supposedly, but anyways, so we're so close to getting to getting this debt paid off. So happy. Here I have what is left on my student loans, and I finally put my mortgage in here. At the end of this month, I will go ahead and do our tracker update. That way we can color in together. And the goal is by January, God willing, we'll have this truck paid off. And then we get to do a lot of more savings. So it will be lots of fun. So here you can see what is green is that I have already gone in those accounts and was able to go ahead and make all those changes to billing for all those accounts, for all those bills to come out of this checking account. What is red is I had to order a card because I didn't have a card for that checking account to be able to change these subscriptions and these bills to that account. So these bills could come out automatically. So I'm really trying to organize myself a lot more. And then that way I can get to my goal of being 2 months ahead now on my variable expenses, or I guess my fixed expenses. And then in my checking account where my debit card is in, just only withdraw. Well, that will be where our direct deposit is coming in, but also the only place where I'll be withdrawing my cash envelopes. And if I make any miscellaneous spending, it's better, I can see better, and I'm not spending something I wasn't supposed to because a bill didn't come out on time, if that makes sense. So goal for January, have as many no spends as I can, use cash only, do my daily check-ins with my plum paper planner, and then also have all these automatic bills set and ready to go within that checking account. And honestly, just stay organized is my goal, staying organized. Well, with that being said, friends, I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know what your goals are for January, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Can I be around you for motivation?